Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Elliott and today we are going to be talking about the case of Jessica Gutierrez. Now, this case was something that I've been thinking about and wanting to cover for the longest time, and it just never got around to it, but I finally was able to get some more information on it and get it all set up for you guys today. So, without further ado, let's get into the case. So, Jessica Gutierrez's full name is Jessica Suzanne Gutierrez. Her nickname was Jessie. Everybody called her Jessie. She never went by Jessica. It was always Jessie. And at the time of her abduction, she was 4 years old and she was living in Lexington, South Carolina. Her date of birth was December 3rd of 1981, and her height at the time of her disappearance was 3 feet tall. She also weighed 32 pounds back in the year of her disappearance, which was 1986. So, her description was that she had long, curly brown hair and she had brown eyes. She also had a scar on her forehead like this, not like Harry Potter scars, but like a scar, you know. And she had a brown birthmark on her left butt cheek. That's literally what it said, was her left butt cheek. I ain't pulling this out of my ass, no pun intended, but literally it said her left butt cheek. Okay. And on the night of her disappearance, she was only 4 years old, and she was still living at home in Lexington with her parents, because obviously she was 4 years old. So, it was also noted that she had a wart on her left hand. I don't know why they waited so long for me to find this information, but hey, you know, whatever. So, on the night of June 5th, 1986, it was just a regular night for Jessica's family. You know, they were watching TV, doing whatever families do. Back in the evening of the 1980s, you know, they were just spending some time together. And then eventually, their mother, you know, was like, okay, well, it's time for the kids to go to bed. And the kids, you know, it's Jessica and her sister, and hold on a second, I'm gonna let my dog in. Sorry, he's crying. Come on in, you little booger. Come on. He wants to be in my videos all the time. Bless his heart. He's like, oh my gosh, yay, Mom! Big mama's boy is always clingy. So, when it hit like 9 p.m., which was honestly is relatively late for a 4-year-old to be going to bed, but I'm not going to judge these parents. It's just, that's just how I feel. That's just kind of, I personally wouldn't. Riley, he's so funny. Oh my gosh. Stop interrupting my story, please. And so, their home at the time was a 1-story mobile home. Which, if you don't know what a mobile home is, it's one of those like trailer parks, you know what I'm talking about, where they had the mobile homes in the trailer parks. So that's basically where she lived, and it was all a 1-story, you know, unit, so yeah. So now we're going to move on to the night of her abduction and what all took place there. And so, the intruder had actually broken in through the living room window, which, like I said, is a trailer, so they broke in through the window, and they removed both the screen and the curtains. It's like they did what they could to get an easy escape, I guess you could say. The person did that. And the thing that I always asked was their window, like, unlocked? Or did he actually pry it open and break into it that way? Because if it was unlocked and he knew it, then he would have easily been able to, you know, go into the house. But I don't know. It was unsaid whether or not they just left it unlocked or he just pried it open and, like, broke it. But, hey. That's what I know anyways. And it is said that after the intruder broke into the house, the person went into the little cubicle bedroom that Jessica and her siblings shared and took Jessica out of the bed that she shared with her 6-year-old sister. So, it's very interesting. And the thing is that, like, confused me was that the person actually exited the bedroom to go out through the front door. So I found that pretty interesting. Riley, get off! Oh, so sorry. So the following day, which was June 6th of 1986, so during the morning of June 6th, Jessica's mother actually woke up and was trying to wake up all the kids. So she's like, come on guys, let's get ready for the day and everything. So she went to go wake up their the two girls, and then when she noticed that the front door was completely wide open, the curtains had been removed, the screens were just completely gone, and that's when she went into the girls' room and she realized that Jessica was gone. So she panicked and she asked the 6-year-old sister that Jessica shared a room with. Her name was Rebecca. She asked Rebecca if she knew where Jessica was. And what Rebecca said, brought chills and alarm to Rebecca's mother, which, is not the thing that any parent wants to hear. It's just a sinking feeling, what I'm about to tell you. So, she asked the sister, Rebecca, where Jessica was. Remember, Jessica is a 4-year-old little girl who would not have left the house unnoticed by herself. She's 4. Who's to say she's even tall enough to even unlock the front door? Or who knows if she was even able to pry open any windows, just get out? She's 4. When I was 4, I enjoyed, Teletubbies and Barney, she wouldn't have been able to escape the house like that, especially in the dead of night. She was, probably passed out asleep. Ugh, I can only imagine. So, Rebecca, remember what I said, that she said to her parents, scares the shit out of the family. And Rebecca states that a man with a magic hat came into their room and took Jessica away. And as an adult, Rebecca was able to remember all of this, and she recalled very vividly that when the man picked up Jessica, that he was able to do so without waking her up, which is interesting to me because, I'm a light sleeper, so if anyone would try to pick me up, I would have woken up. But it's just, confusing. How did she not know? What? And if I were Rebecca, I would have been freaking the fuck out. I would have been screaming, trying to get anybody's type of attention. But remember, she's 6, so she was probably just, scared out of her mind of what the hell was going on, right? So, I can't really blame her. She, little kids, they get scared, So, as an adult, Rebecca was able to, recall a lot of more details about what had happened, because remember, she was 6, but she was still able to remember this because, it was her sister who went missing. Even though, at a young age, this is when it happens, some type of memories are, scarred into your brain that you can remember them very vividly. I remember, going to the circus one time, and I was really young, 6. This is, totally, off topic, but I remember going to the circus, and my parents had me go see clowns, and the clowns got all in my face and bent down. Their faces were creepy and scary, and I ended up being terrified of clowns for the rest of my life. So, hey. So, it's something that I remember, so she can still remember it all these years later. It's possible. It happens. So, Rebecca actually had never, like, told her parents what she had seen until, like, the following morning. So she was probably, like, scared out of her mind. She was probably like, oh my gosh, I can't say anything, because what if that man comes back for me? What if he hasn't left? Like, what's going on? So, again, remember, she's a little girl. And what's interesting is, a few days before Jessica's abduction, on June 6th, her mom, Deborah, had actually broken up with her boyfriend at the time, and he had been living there in the trailer with them, and he was actually kicked out of the house because he was an alcoholic, and he was considered possessive over the mother, which, if you don't know what possessive means, Riley. Which, if you don't know what possessive means, it basically is someone who's very controlling over a person or a situation or anything like that. Like, it's something that you see in a very abusive relationship, and it's very kind of unsettling. So Deborah had actually accused her ex-boyfriend, the possessive one, of taking Jessica. She accused him of this multiple times. She was like, it has to be him. He would have taken her. He's crazy. He hates me. He's abusive. He's controlling. He's manipulative. Like, he could have taken Jessica in order to get to me. So it wasn't a terrible, it wasn't like an unknown possibility, you know what I mean? And so the ex-boyfriend was actually questioned by police, but he was never really charged with anything, so it's not known what the police found or what they talked to him about, but it was enough that the charges against him were either dropped or not there to begin with. Like, there's nothing there that he was immediately ruled out as a suspect. There's no way he could have done this. So then another person that they thought of as being a potential, suspect for the kidnapping was Jessica's birth father. And, at the time, Jessica's mom and her birth father, they were divorced and they lived their own ways. So they actually had found out that it couldn't have been Jessica's birth father that would have taken her, because at the time of her abduction, he was living in the state of California. So California to South Carolina, he'd have to fly there, and he'd have to, pay a lot. And the fact that he was still back there, it would have been impossible for him to get back there with Jessica in that amount of time. I mean, I understand how flights work, because I've flown a lot before, but it's just highly impossible for him to have been able to do that. So he was immediately ruled out, especially because it was proven that he was living in California at the time. So then there became the main suspect, and the main suspect was someone that Jessica's mom actually brought up. She said, hey, listen, I have this friend of the family, and he is kind of, iffy, and, he's been around the house before. He knows me, my family, my children especially, and he always took a liking to Jessica. So the suspect was eventually, looked at, and, they continued to look into him over the years. And yes, I will say it's a him, because it's been stated that the suspect, the family friend, was honestly a male person. So, and yeah, it was unknown to the public for many years of who this man was. And it became very frustrating to people who were following on Jessica's case, myself included, that they never really found out who this guy was for so long. Like, we're talking about, like, this, remember, this case happened in 1986, and they never fully released the details or anything. And then came January of 2022, this month. And that's when it was announced to the public the name of the suspect, who was the family friend. So we're going to get into that real quick, and I'm going to add some of my own thoughts and opinions in it. And it just, as a family friend, like, this person should have been looked into before, you know, deciding that this person was going to be a friend of the family, you know. I mean, like I said, I understand, like, you know, it's the 80s, and maybe they were naive and they didn't know about all this type of stuff. Maybe they didn't think that he would do something like this, but, you know, it's just, you have to watch who you bring around your children, because sometimes the people out there in this world, they aren't the best people, and this is exactly what happened to the Gutierrez family, because the person that they thought was a friend of them, someone that they thought respected them, respected their children, respected their life, their family, their home, everything, was not the person that they thought that they were. And it baffles me that this happens, and that they, like, but there was actually a break in the case in announcing to the public who the main suspect was. And indeed, this person was the family friend. And this person's name is Thomas Eric Mcdowell. And he was actually 27 years old whenever he had been living in the Lexington area of South Carolina back in 1986. So it was the year of Jessica's abduction. So a little bit more information on him was the fact that he was in prison in North Carolina for rape. So he had been charged with a rape count, which he had been a friend of the family. He had been around these kids and everything. Like, that's disgusting. That's so disgusting that this man was around children and he had sexual desires, and he actually raped someone. It's not said, like, if he raped a child or if it was, like, a full-grown adult, but either way, like, it's still alarming. And I'm sure that, you know, the Gutierrez family was probably, like, mind blown when they found this out. Like, I would have been furious, because this person was in my home, around my kids, near my family, and he was charged with, you know, rape, you know? And it doesn't say, like, whether or not he raped a child or an adult or anything. It's just frustrating, you know what I mean? So, anywho, we're gonna move on to that. So, like I said, he was in prison for rape, and his fingerprints were actually found outside of the window of Jessica's bedroom the night that she went missing, which Deborah, the mom, she was like, that has to be impossible. And she had explained to police that she constantly cleaned the house. She never wanted to have a dirty house. She didn't want to be known as someone who lived in a dirty trailer park. Because a lot of the times, you know, stereotypical people that live in a trailer are dirty trailer park people. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Uncle Cousin Becky live in the backwoods of West Virginia. You know what I'm talking about? But she didn't want to be known as that. She wanted to have a nice home. She wanted to be able to have a nice, clean home for her kids to be raised in. Which I don't blame her. That is something that every mother should feel. They want to have a nice, safe, and clean environment for their kids. And so the fact that there was a fingerprint or a handprint on the bedroom, you know, it kind of alarmed Deborah, because she was like, that means someone actually did break into my house. It means my kids weren't lying. It means that someone had been watching us and knew whenever we fell asleep and came in and took my kid. You know, like, it's so sickening. And get this. So in the year 1987, this was the year after Jessica's abduction. It wasn't said, like, what month this took place, but I can assume it's like 9 months later, like 9 months to a year and a half. And so Thomas was in prison at the time, you know, and he had a cellmate, and he confidentially told his cellmate that back in 1986 he was living in Lexington, South Carolina, and he said straight up that he had killed a little girl and tossed her body into a landfill. Riley! Yeah, yes. So, obviously, with good reason, the cellmate reported it to the police. He's like, this guy just confessed to a murder of a small child, someone who's been missing for weeks, because at the time he'd been missing for she had been missing for a couple weeks. And he's like, you know, he said this. So, the cellmate also stated that the guy, Thomas Mcdowell, whenever he had broken into the Gutierrez home and took Jessica, he had been wearing a cowboy hat, which would explain why Jessica's sister stated that he was wearing a magic hat. So it made sense, you know, like everything lined up. And so obviously, like, he told them what happened. So the police came and they started to talk to Thomas Eric Mcdowell, and they're like, look, we understand that you said that you killed a little girl and put her body in a landfill. Is this true? Like, what all happened? We need to know all the details. If you confess the crime, you know, it'll be okay. And he said he would only confess if he wasn't charged for the crime. He wanted immunity. So, obviously, the police were like, you're gonna get charged for it, because if you killed someone, it's still a murder charge, you fucking idiot. So, whenever they told him he was going to get charged and he was denied immunity, he's like, nope. You know, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm done. I'm not talking anymore. So, I can understand, like, how that could upset the family. Like, they have someone who claimed that he killed her and everything, but then when he goes to talk about it, he's like, I'll only do it if. Or, well, you know, I'm not sure, you know, if I want to tell it now because you denied me of this, so, you know, I just don't want to do this anymore. Psych, bye. Like, I would have been pissed. I would have gone into that jail cell and beat the ever-living shit out of him myself. So, we're gonna fast forward to January of 2022, this year and this month. So, Thomas Eric Mcdowell was charged with murder, kidnapping, first-degree burglary, and the authorities have not listed to the public what they found to make them charge him with the murder of Jessica Gutierrez. And it's like, did they find her body? Did they find, like, DNA? Did they find, like, a witness to the crime again? Like, the witness to the crime, did she fully say something? Did someone see him burying this little girl? And, you know, it was a witness to it. So, it kind of makes me think, like, what did they find? So Deborah, the mom, after all these years, and even after they claimed that Thomas Eric McDowell, aka the family friend, was charged with the kidnapping and murder of Jessica Gutierrez, she still believes that her ex-boyfriend at the time was still somehow involved in the whole kidnapping scheme, even though it was proven that, or said that, he never did anything. So she doesn't really have any evidence to prove that he did this other than what she feels and her opinion too. But I mean, it kind of like confuses me because she said like he was abusive and everything, but would he be abusive enough to, be with Thomas Eric McDowell and be part of this thing? Which, in all honesty, the family friend, aka Thomas Eric McDowell, and her ex-boyfriend were actually good friends. So they knew each other, which means he would have known Jessica and all that stuff very, very well. And it just kind of alarms me, because again, you need to watch who you have around your kids, because you never know. You really, truly never know. And it's said that Deborah states that they had actually met. They had actually met the family friend long before. Long before Jessica went missing. So it's just like, because they're talking about the boyfriend and Thomas McDowell had actually met each other and had been friends long before Jessica went missing. So it's just like, why would you lie and say that you don't know him? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So, also, I am so sorry my dog is biting the shit out of me. Riley! Get down! Get off of there! Sorry, he's like biting the shit out of me, chewing up on my shirt and everything. So, even though, like, Jessica's body has technically never been found, well, it hasn't been found, this case is still technically considered solved due to the fact that they found Thomas's DNA all over the windowsill, and there was enough evidence that was enough there to charge him with the crime. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't said whether or not they found, like, semen or anything like that. They just had found, stop! Seriously, dude, stop! They had just found enough substantial evidence to charge him with the crime. And it just frustrates me, because I am, the aunt of a bunch of nieces and nephews, and most of them are like around Jessica's age, a little bit older and a little bit younger. And it makes me think, like, oh my god, what if something like that would have happened to, my family? Like, how awful. Like, it's a kid that is around their ages, and it frustrates me so much that Riley, that nothing seems like, it just seems like, even though all these kids have gone missing and a lot of kids have been murdered, it just seems like there's not enough done, like enough justice done in this world, and it frustrates me so much. And so, Riley, oh my god, you're gonna rip my shirt. So, anyways, this is the end of the video, because my dog is starting to get on my damn nerves, biting my arm, my elbow, my fucking shirt. Stop it! So, if anyone out there actually has any information about Jessica's abduction, or the abductor himself, Thomas Eric McDowell, you are being urged to call the Lexington, South Carolina Police Department at 803-359-0000. 8230. That's 803-359-8230. Please, you can stay anonymous. But please make sure if anybody knows anything out there to help that family, because it's just frustrating to me that nothing seems to be getting done. So I feel for the family, man. Like it sucks. It really does. And I wish that they would be able to find Jessica and her body, just to give this family some closure. And I do apologize about my dog biting me during 90% of the video. Like, look at my arms, dude. Look at my arms. Chewing on my shirt and everything. Like, oh my god. If you get a puppy, man, like, y'all understand. But anyways, so that's gonna be the end of this case. I'm so sorry that he has been acting like this. Stop it. So, I wish you all a very amazing, happy new year. And please let me know, like, what type of cases you would like me to follow, like, do, any cases you want me to do videos on, any cases you want me to cover, anything you want me to research, just anything in general. Please mention them down in the comments down below. I'm sorry, he's like... Look, now he's acting a fool. I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, stay safe out there, guys. You know, COVID-19, everything. Riley. COVID-19, everything going on, you know. Wear your mask. Get your vaccines. Do whatever you need to do so you can stay safe. And, yeah, don't trust everybody you meet. That is the number one moral of the story, is don't trust everybody you meet. Because though they may seem nice, they may not have the best intentions. And you never know, they might try to they might take your child. And like I said, it just hurts for me to hear about this with this family, because this child has never been found, and it's been years and years. My condolences to the family, like, in all honesty. And like I said, I'm so sorry about my dog acting like this. I've been trying to film this video all day, but he's just been acting like this all day. And he has to be in the room with me, otherwise he sits outside and he whines. So I do apologize for that, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Share this video with all your friends just to get the word out there about Jessica Gutierrez. And ignore my dog biting the shit out of me. Because, oh my god, like, look at this. Oh my god. Ow. Ow. Like, seriously. So, yeah. I'll talk to you guys again later. Bye!